Hello guys, welcome to the SwallowedStar channel. In this episode, I will explain the storyline of the series SwallowedStar, episode 153. Okay, without further ado, let's get right to the storyline. Still located in the Devil Mountain area, Luofeng dominated the direction of the fight when facing Pa Tuo, but Luofeng had to be pushed back when Pa Tuo fired an E9 level laser shot that was capable of destroying a World Master level warrior in one attack. As an effort of self-defense, Luofeng utilized the plane of the Tatamas automaton race as his protective shield. After releasing his attack, Pa Tuo felt very happy because he was the one who managed to defeat Luofeng rather than his other colleagues, who turned him into ashes. But in the midst of his fun, unexpectedly from the ground appeared a stalk of rattan-rubbed cloud, making the arm that was holding his laser gun break. And in the end, Pa Tuo was unable to move when the stalk of rattan-rubbed cloud entangled his body. Luofeng had indeed suffered quite severe injuries, but he had still survived the previous laser shot. Pa Tuo gasped in shock, as he could not believe that Luofeng was still alive. Luofeng then took the black tokens that Pa Tuo had obtained during his hunt, which turned out to be 3,000 black tokens, showing that Pa Tuo had killed many warriors in Devil Mountain. Luofeng also asked, who was the person who sent Pa Tuo to kill him? Using unusual means, Luofeng tried to extract information from Pa Tuo by using the mental power of his soul to see Pa Tuo's memories. From there, Luofeng found out that Pa Tuo had teamed up with Wu Qi and several other powerful warriors. Then, when Luofeng tried to find out who was the person who sent Pa Tuo and who was the mastermind behind this attack, Pa Tuo decided to blow himself up so that the secret information he was carrying would not be discovered by Luofeng. It was unfortunate indeed that the enemy that could be utilized instead committed suicide. But at least in that battle, Luofeng managed to obtain a very valuable E9 level laser weapon, which could even threaten a strong figure at the World Master level. And for now, Bolin was still missing, Galesy was dead, and Luofeng had been attacked twice. It seems that in this case, the target is not just one person, but also includes the entire search and rescue team sent by the Virtual Universe Company. The scene shifted to the Virtual Universe Company's monitoring room. Under the power of Devil Mountain, the company executives were unable to obtain the coordinate locations of the search teams in real time. The newly arrived Emperor Zhen Yan asked why the Virtual Universe Company did not send strong warriors and instead sent rookies to such a dangerous place. Venerable Nine Swords said that Bolin's level of consciousness was very strong. It was just that he was interrupted during the qualification battle that made him weak. In this case, there were several possibilities. First, the attacker knew exactly the right moment to attack Bolin. Second, it was a coincidence. And finally, there was a traitor. The scene will move to Luofeng's place. When he was staring at Galesy's body, not long after, one of the other geniuses from the Virtual Universe Company who came together with Luofeng appeared, and he was Molo, who thought that Luofeng had just finished off Galesy. In the midst of the misunderstanding, Molo tried to tell the other genius, but there was no signal, so he would put up a body. If Luofeng wanted to finish him off after killing Galesy, then Molo would put up a fight. Luofeng explained that after he got there, Galesy had already died first.
怎么，你还他已遭人毒手？
Take a guarded stance. Molo approached Galesy's body, and after seeing the large wound on Galesy's body, he was sure that the wound was not caused by the weapons Luofeng used. Meanwhile, the wound on Luofeng's body was not caused by the battle with Galesy, but by an ambush from an unknown person who had reached the Domain Master level. Besides, Galesy's power couldn't hurt Luofeng, so how could he have killed him? Molo's wariness of Luofeng disappeared after listening to his explanation. Molo believed that a good person like Luofeng couldn't possibly kill his own companion. Luofeng also revealed that after extracting information from his opponent, he found out that there were 6 strong warriors who had attacked, but Luofeng still didn't know who had sent them. According to Molo, from the incident where Galesy was killed, it meant that the enemy who targeted them planned to hunt down the virtual universe company's search team one by one when they were alone. Therefore, to be on the safe side, Luofeng invited Molo to search for Bolin together. While Molo was kept Galesy's body, Luofeng thought, before he checked the information about Molo, that he was an orphan from the South Fox Universe country. Relying on his own strength to join the virtual universe company, he passed 2 rounds of qualification, which allowed him to enter from the absolute beginning realm to the primal secret realm. This meant that he was able to get this far because of his talent and hard work. While Babata was still repairing the Galesy chip, which was 5% closer to completion, Luofeng and Molo left to continue their search. The scene back at the Virtual Universe Company, where Venerable Nine Swords said that the insect race has always tried to curb the development of humanity, including eliminating the genius warriors recruited by the company. Unfortunately, the existence of these foreign races is difficult to detect. On the way, after Babata successfully repaired the chip left by Galesy, Luofeng also saw the contents of the recording that happened before his death, while Molo behind him also watched. On the other hand, Emperor Zhenyan had previously received information from Luofeng when he was on a mission in the Blood Continent and received a mysterious insect symbol from a local bigwig there. Emperor Zhenyan believed that the symbol was brought by people from outside the Blood Continent, and the only people who could enter the region were people from the Virtual Universe Company, such as the geniuses from each secret realm. And among the 9 geniuses who were sent to Devil Mountain, the traitor was one of them. So who is the real traitor? Those who watched the spoiler video must have found out.
内心就在他们的
On the way, while he was watching, Luofeng saw Molo's face, who had already ambushed Galesy. At that moment, from behind, Luofeng received an attack from Molo, who showed his true intentions as the traitor. The attack from his caused a fatal wound to Luofeng, but when a collision occurred between the two, Luofeng, who was not ready to fight, was then knocked towards the surface. While staring at the Galesy assassin, who became a traitor in the search team, Luofeng, who was ready to continue the fight, was dragged into a death trap, which was 100 times more dangerous than the previous one. It turned out that Molo had prepared a plan to trap Luofeng in that place. In order not to be dragged further into the bottomless abyss, Luofeng used the Yanshin stick stuck into the rock wall to defend. However, the suction power of the death trap was too strong, making Luofeng unable to hold on any longer. Just like before, Luofeng also tried to use rattan-rubbed cloud to avoid being dragged into the hole. However, this was quite difficult to do. In addition to having strong suction power, the flying rocks also made it even more difficult for Luofeng. In the other direction, in a safe place, Molo said that the abyss of death would appear as many as 6 suction at a time, so there was no chance of staying alive when one was sucked into it. Just to bring Luofeng to this place, Molo himself had spent quite a bit of time and waited for the right moment. Luofeng, who was in trouble, did not just endure. He again put up a fight, sending his 2 rattan-rubbed cloud stalks at Molo, chasing after him and managing to push his body through several layers of hard rock walls, dealing considerable damage to him. However, the difficult conditions that Luofeng was forced to endure made his consciousness begin to decline, fainting, and then being drawn into a death trap. Reappearing with a body covered in wounds, Molo reported that Luofeng was previously seen next to Galesy's body. During the qualification battle, Bolin also disappeared while dealing with Luofeng. There was also a recording of the battle between Molo and Luofeng, which showed that Luofeng was attacking him. Thus, Molo was able to scapegoat Luofeng as a traitor, as well as he managed to get rid of a strong competitor in the qualification battle. Even though this person's face previously looked good, it turned out that he was originally cunning. Back to Luofeng, as his consciousness continued to decline, Babata tried to keep him awake. In that critical moment, Luofeng also had a vision of his wife's face. Back at the Virtual Universe Company headquarters, the Venerable Nine Swords organized a problem to find the traitor and deliberately sent 9 geniuses who had the possibility of being the culprit. It was risky, but it was enough to lure the snake out of its hole. Without the interference of the Virtual Universe Company's higher-ups, the traitor would surely relax his vigilance and take great risks to carry out his actions. Venerable Nine Swords had also secretly dispatched people who would only act when the traitor was found, capture him alive, and extract information from him about the insect races and the mastermind behind his treachery. I don't know what happened, but when Luofeng was unconscious, there was Xushin who kissed his forehead and asked him to wake up. Like a bond, Babata also tried hard to wake Luofeng up. She even tried to pull Luofeng's body up even though she only had an astral body. After hitting the rock wall a few times, Luofeng regained consciousness. He switched to Mosha's clan body and changed into shuttle, drill mode, and swordfist mode in an effort to get out of there. Because it still wasn't enough, Luofeng even molded his Mosha's body into a Yanshin stick in the mode of a large pillar covered by rocks to plug the hole with powerful suction power. But it still couldn't work because that place was the core of the center in the death trap section that had 100 times the power of before. Even the strength of Mosha's body was completely unable to deal with it. It was also true if Luofeng used the power of the golden horn monster. Since none of those methods worked, Luofeng would make a gamble using his golden horn body. But instead of moving upwards, Luofeng instead moved into the opposite direction towards the bottom of the trap hole. With such a crazy speed, Babata was sure that Luofeng's body could be shattered into pieces later. Meanwhile, elsewhere, Wuqi reported to Po Yu that he had seen that Luofeng had been kicked into the ravine by his own friend. As proof, this time he also brought the video footage. From here, Po Yu found out that the culprit was Molo, who had acted without her permission, showing that Po Yu had some kind of bond with Molo. Po Yu here also explained that Molo had the same mission as Wuqi, and he was the one who had previously been waiting for the momentum so that he could attack Bolan. But Molo did not know that the Virtual Universe Company had been suspecting him all along. In addition, Wuqi also gave her a report. After clearing the Devil Mountain area, his group was still searching, so the group would narrow down their search location and report if they found anything. Po Yu also asked Wuqi to make sure that Luofeng was dead. As for Molo, as a subordinate who disobeyed and did things he shouldn't have done, Po Yu would then make him a pawn that could be discarded if she didn't need him. Back to Luofeng, who was still falling towards the suction hole using his golden horn body. After a while, the suction hole finally closed. But Luofeng was heading towards the surface at a crazy speed, without being able to reduce his plunging speed. If he continued like that, then his body would be shattered into pieces by the super hard surface. This is where Luofeng started his very risky gamble. Here, Luofeng switched to the Mosha clan's body, which formed an ice bear illusion monster, and landed hard and shattered into pieces. Then, did he die? Of course not. Mosha's body can replicate the body and physical abilities of its target, like an illusory monster made of solid ice. Even if his body was destroyed, his consciousness would remain intact, allowing him to return to his former self. This ability was very powerful. However, when Luofeng was about to move up again, the death trap's suction hole opened for a moment before closing again, trapping Luofeng inside. The scene will move to where Wuka is still looking for Bolan's whereabouts. On the way, Wuka felt a bad feeling that was following her. It turned out to be Rongjun. Since the communication signal was lost, they didn't know who was approaching them. At the same time, someone appeared in front of Rongjun and Wuka from another direction. It was Molo. Is Molo going to fight them, or is he just pretending to be a good guy like he did with Luofeng? Let's wait until next week to find out. So that's the explanation of SwallowedStar in episode 153 this time, guys. Okay, thanks to those of you who have watched until the end, and don't forget to support us by subscribe, like, and comment. Final word from me, bye.
Bye-bye. 这是什么地方？
我也不知道。
鬼影相前，
知道。
看来没有其他出路。
你小子走过实验了，你比我们是吧？国风有重大嫌疑。真愿王，你
莫洛既然袭击，只能葬身于此，积累也一定会对别人下杀，而我会踩着这些踩，堂堂天战第一，战胜更高之处。